So lately, AI has been really developing here. The guy that plays Shazam, and Glenn Beck here, they have an interesting convo about it. And they seem scared of it and everything, and he's going on about Hollywood. I have no problem with AI coming into anything, and the reason I don't have a fear of AI, well, I mean, I don't work anymore, but I mean, if I was working, I wouldn't be scared of it because all the AI is basically a stern boss or a hard ass boss that would be riding you in the workplace. Because, well, here, let's go with the comics. You know, look at how long it takes these guys to make anything, and then they're arrogant and cocky and think they're this, gods and kings and all this stupid bullshit. And here's the AI coming along, whiz bang, can make a comic for you in, 2 seconds and all this. I had a talk with George about this, and he was explaining to me about the problem is it can't get the fine detail yet of things. It can get overall, but it cannot get the fine detail. And now I'm seeing you can make the movies now and all this. Here's the thing: if you weren't good at what you were doing to begin with, then you're going to be fucked. But if you are good at what you're trying to do or your job, even if it can do it better, you're still going to be up there in performance. It's just going to have to make these people work harder, and that's what they don't like because Hollywood is very fucking lazy. Everything now is AI, not AI, CGI. Uh, People with green screens. They don't do uh technical stuff anymore. Like, you look at Deep Space Nine and you see those aliens on there, and that's not CGI. That's like people's time and investment and quality into something to make these people look like aliens. But you can still tell there's a human under there. They don't go overboard with it. Like you look at Quark on Deep Space Nine or Odo, even the Klingons. Just it's a nice balance of humanity and aliens. So you're looking at this going, yeah, this is an alien, but I can tell it's still a human, so I can relate to the show or whatever. So all of this fear and all this, I'm all for it. And you know what? If AI takes the comic industry down, I'm not going to worry about it because Todd McFarlane and all of them, the real artists, not the CG shitheads and all these losers, they're the ones who are going to be out of business. Because I can just go, hey, if I want, well, I mean, Cyberfrog is okay. It's not the best, but like I'm rewriting Red Planet the ending on there. I would just put that into that movie thing and go show me this, and it would crank me out something that only Ethan can dream of making because he's a lazy fat ass. And that's the real scare here, is that these artists are, I'm not going to be able to compete with this and all this. Well, the only reason you're thinking that is because you weren't that good to begin with. That's the whole point. Like, if you were shitty at what you were doing, then AI is going to make it stand out even more. If you're good at what you're doing, you're going to be able to compete with the AI. Not that you need to. What AI really is an unbiased focus group for whatever you're doing. That's how I'm using it. For instance, I'm putting my script into there, and it's given me ideas and things that I never even could conceive of for my script. And I'm like, this is just why Hollywood doesn't look at it that way. I don't know. Like Hollywood should be having screenings of all their shit and then having AI analyze it and tell them what it thinks because it's unbiased. Well, most of them are. I mean, well, Grok seems to be unbiased. The only one that I've found that is biased is here's a good example, the Chat GPT. I kept trying to make the Walton guy holding a black baby, and it kept saying it's racist, it can't do it. And then I put in there, all right, have him holding a baby of color. And then it just cranked it out like I wanted it to do to begin with. So that tells you where their mindset is. You can't tell it, hey, I want this to be holding a black child. Oh no, that's racist. Okay, make it a person. Well, okay, all right. My my racist programmers put this in here, so now I can do it for you because you said the right wording. But overall, all of this fear and everything is just, if you suck, it's gonna destroy you. That's the best way to put it. If you're good at what you do, I would just look at it as an unbiased focus group, which is really what it is. All right, let's.
How concerned are you by what Google released this week?
I mean, I'm very concerned. I mean, you know, when you and I talked about this when I came on your show last, and I hate to sound like a doomer and gloomer, but this is something I've been foreseeing for a really long time. I've been banging this drum for a really long time and trying to wake people up and say, hey, listen, technology, it moves exponentially. This is one of the things that I think most people just don't understand, whether it's people in my industry or other industries. And might I say, yes, this is knocking on the doorstep of entertainment right now, but understand that AI is knocking on the doorstep of all of our industries. Your industry, radio, everything in entertainment,
all
certainly, anything that can be recorded. And
Here's what I predict is going to happen with AI in Hollywood is it's going to make them even lazier. Because I remember when CG started becoming a big thing, I was thinking, everything looks better, but the problem is they're not putting the work in to make the scripts and stuff good. They're just going, oh, well, we'll just take this shitty movie or TV show and put a green screen behind it, and there we go. And that's pretty much how things are nowadays. So eventually, I think at some point they're going to get over their fear. And I don't think they're going to use it how I was saying as an unbiased focus group. I think they're going to be using it to crank out scripts that they don't have to pay anybody because they're just lazy cheapskates. And I think they're going to be I think they're going to be using it in ways to make it more lazy, where they don't the less work. That's what the like. Well, look at the voice actors. The voice actors are fucked. I mean, I can just go take a voice. I mean, they'll eventually make laws and all that. But even if they do that, you can still just take their voice and say, "Give me something that sounds similar to this or close to this," and then they can just use that, and there goes the voice actor. That's what I see the future is there. Now acting, I mean, I think a lot of the acting will still be the same, but I think what'll happen is I think AI will start becoming better at de-aging people. So, but see, you're going to be able to tell it, like those new Mission Impossibles. If you watch those, you can tell a lot of those scenes they've de-aged him on there. I mean, There's it's the problem is the consistency. Like one scene, Tom Cruise will look like he's 38. Another scene, he'll look like he's 82. And then another scene, he'll look like he's 65. So that's the problem, is the consistency with it. You can't use it in one place and then not use it the rest of everywhere else, because then people see the inconsistency. But as far as being scared and all that, I'm all for it, man, because they're just the comic people, the Hollywood, everybody's just. It's like I said, when CGI came out, you saw how lazy everybody got. All right, let's
and broadcast, but every industry that we are. I mean, there are huge, experts in many fields that say within a year, 2 years, you certainly within 5 years, every white collar job will be gone. And a lot of blue collar jobs are going to be right behind that, because you have to recognize that AI is not just moving exponentially, but also humanoid robots and the development of humanoid robots is developing exponentially. And exponential growth is something that people just don't understand. Most people see growth as, kind of just, multiplicative, meaning like, okay, every year it gets twice as good. No. It doesn't get twice as good every year. It gets 10 times as good, and then it gets 100 times as good, and then 1,000 times as good, and so on and so forth. And so years ago, I was telling people, guys, if what we have right now, like, for example, 2 years ago, AI was generating images, and but humans had 6 fingers, and so people said, this is schlock, look at this, this is never going to get good, it can't even get the amount of fingers right on people's hands. I said, yeah. Right now it can't. Right now it cannot do that, but 6 months later it did. 6 months after that you had video, and now you've got video with audio that is almost indiscernible, as you've been seeing with these new examples. It's almost indiscernible. Now people say, yeah, but I can still tell. I go, yeah, right now you can. But 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, we're going to be living in a world. And no, probably not even that long. No. And so people have got to wake up. And so for people in my industry, I think that, yes, we should all be very, very concerned, but everyone should be very concerned. And it's not even just, like, for example, yes, this could very much replace my job. This is partly why I am building Wildwood Studios in Austin, Texas. It, has always been, this is a 25-year plus, calling that God has put on my life to create a better Hollywood, to give artists a better life, a better work-life balance, to give audiences better content. These are all things that we've deserved for a really long time. But AI is really the kind of, I think, most galvanizing force in all of this, because if we don't do something about it, if we don't hold the line, if we don't build the ark, which is really kind of what I've always felt on my life. I felt this kind of Noah calling on my life, that God's like, hey, listen, a flood is coming. It's not going to be water. It's going to be something entirely different, and that is this AI. And if you can build the ark, then you can at least
see this guy. This is the guy that plays Shazam. The problem is this guy, that he doesn't really understand fully what AI is. He's just, they're going to replace us and do all this. That could be, but I go back to the same argument. If you were good at what you were doing before AI, then you're going to be good after. AI just exposes who are shitty people that can't do their jobs, basically. And the other thing is, if he was using it right, like what I'm doing, it's an unbiased focus group for anything. You could go cook a piece of fish, and then show it the video, and then ask it, say, hey, how does this look to you? Would you eat this, or does this look like something I could sell, or whatever? And it would give you an opinion, and it would be an opinion unbiased. That's what they're not getting. Like all of their focus groups they have for these movies, it's just yes people. I don't even know why they have it. Like that Captain America piece of shit. They had to scrap an entire $400 million movie because it was so bad. And then they went and did it again and had a focus group. And then you saw what we got. Because you had a bunch of people in there going, oh, yeah, this is awesome and all this. When it wasn't. It was shit. Because those people just want to get paid. And they don't care if the movie's good or not anyway, because they're not going to watch it anyhow. This is what I mean. Like, they're just not using it properly. That's the problem. I still think that the real problem with AI, like when I watch these videos of the AI talking and doing like ads and stuff, is and they'll probably fix this at some point, but it can't get the life into it. Like it like when you look at it, you don't sense the person or anything. It just seems lifeless. And then the backgrounds and stuff, like it, you can tell it's AI. I mean, even from 10 years from now, I still think that's going to be the case, because it can't duplicate the life in somebody, because it doesn't have a soul or anything. Like, yeah, it could show me a person laughing and jumping and shooting and running and doing all of this, but when you sit there and see it talking and doing these ads, it's I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's impressive, but at the same time, it's just it's soulless, I guess is the best way to put it. They have to figure out how to put the life into there. But the main thing that I'm gonna enjoy is when they really get it where you can crank out comic books without these assholes. Because then I'll just go make my own thing and just put it in there. I don't know if I could sell it or anything, but then we're gonna hear it's gonna go from 3D assets to oh, you used AI. This is an AI comic book, and then months later they'll be like, oh, look, I made an AI comic book, because they caught on. You have to be ahead of the curve. That's the downfall I have. I notice I'm always ahead of the curve here, and then people that are somewhat bigger, they see what I saw a week or two ago, and then it becomes a big thing when I'm like, well, I saw this a while ago. All right, let's continue.
Save as many of those jobs 2 by 2 as you can. But if you don't build the ark, then the flood just wipes everything out.
Well, the real arc is going to be saving the people that can do their jobs good, but I still think they're going to be able to compete. Like Todd McFarlane and Liefeld, I think they're going to do just fine, because they can still go and make original. The future, I think, of comics anyways is going to be like what Liefeld and McFarlane are doing. Like they have those eBays where they're just cranking out work on there and selling it for $1,000 or $2,000 here and there, and the toys and all that. I think that's what will be the future. As for the comics and all that, if it puts them out of business, it's on them. It's not they're going to blame the AI, but all the AI is going to do is expose that they suck. That's what they're really mad about, is that the AI is going to say, the AI is going to prove, well, gee, why should I buy a book from you I have to wait 3 to 4 years to get, and it won't close, and it's mediocre at best? Explain that to me, huh? Why would I buy that when I could just go in here, and as long as I know to put the right prompts and everything, and drop my script in there and say, okay, here's my script for the comic. I got all the pages indexed and everything. Crank this out. Make it like a McFarlane book or whatever, or just make it unique or whatever you want. And I'll sit here and here it is, and I'll go through the book, and the only real problem that AI has is just the slight mistakes it made. It seems the AI seems like it's a baby right now. I noticed this with Grok and Chat GPT, and when I was using, what was it, Mid Journey and all that. Like they're just, we have to wait for it to get in its teen years or an adult before it'll really, because talking to it is what the problem is. You got to know how to talk to the damn thing, right? But if this takes down Hollywood, I'm all for it, because I think we need to go back to the Deep Space Nine days and get CGI should be used sparingly. They've gone overboard. Everything's CGI. That's why everything costs so goddamn much now. Everything's CGI. We need to go back to the Deep Space Nine days of, costumes and aliens and changing people's faces with what do you call it, like makeup or however they're doing it, plastic pieces or face molds or whatever they're doing to make them look alien. We need to go back to that, because that's CGI is basically what's taken down Hollywood. Besides the woke shit, is you can give me the best movie in all time, the best script in history, and CGI will most likely make it less as good. Whereas if you had more realism to it with like the people and, just throwing a background, it's so lazy. That's the thing. They just don't want to put in the work. You put in the work, you get the results, like Deep Space Nine and Star Trek and all that. Oh well. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.